You're good.
Okay, can I start it off?
Please. No, we're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of In Distress, a podcast where I talk about any and everything on my mind. Today we have a special guest. Okay. It's supposed to be new episodes every weekend. But we know if you follow the podcast, that is incorrect. So today we have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Stop, I'm nervous. Okay. Hey guys.
Why are you talking like that?
Because I don't know what podcast voice to use. Like,
I don't have a podcast voice. I just talk.
I know, but like you're in the you are Black entertainment. I am Black, and I'm trying to work on the entertainment part.
But you're entertaining though. Say words.
Okay, anyway, so hi, I'm Srina. I am friends with Tori by association. We're gonna get into that. But somehow we became friends like this level, and now there's no going back.
No
So
going
we're
back.
gonna let her get to it. To all the loyal listeners, if y'all know why I started with humming, y'all know why. And the reason why that changed is because of me. Okay.
No, okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. I'd like to first thank you for that. But we're just gonna roll the intro and then we're gonna get right into it. So all right, we're good. You can go ahead. Thank you so much for listening to that ad. Thank you. You know I need the money. I need the money.
Yes, she does.
Today we're coming at you in video, but also audio. So if you want to see what I look like for the first time ever, if you don't follow my social media, you can go to my YouTube channel at typicaltori __ on YouTube and check out the video. See what Srina looks like, not just her voice. We're also doing this over Zoom, so if the audio is kind of, it is what it is, child. Okay, so why don't we just get into things? Srina, please tell us how we met. Tell the people. Tell the people.
How we met. Okay. So we have a mutual friend. His name is Xavier. Shout out to Xavier. And he goes to GSU with Tori, and I live in Frederick, where he grew up, high school friends, And so I went to go visit Xavier like over a year ago at GSU. And me and Tori, we didn't know each other like that. They were just friends. I was friends with Xavier. And we got on that bus. And I don't know who started to sing Cheetah-licious Christmas. I don't know which one of us it was.
I think I definitely started it. I think I definitely was just giving, the very intro. And then you kind of you kept it going. And
I caught on, right?
Yeah, because the thing is that if you're a Cheetah Girl stan, if you're an old Disney stan, like that like the movie Cheetah Girl songs, like
Strut,
the movie,
Cheetah Love,
Cinderella, like the basics, but like not everybody got into that Christmas album. They definitely played that song on breaks for Disney at the time, but if you weren't there, you didn't get into that discography like that.
Yeah,
so when she continued the song, that's when I was like, oh, okay.
So yeah, we got after that, the pandemic hit. The pandemic hit us hard. We had that one interaction on that one weekend, and we were like, we're here with it, like we see each other. Right. And then that pandemic hit, and so everyone was on group FaceTime, and I was just like, Xavier was FaceTiming me, and then all his friends from college were calling. So he was like, "Can I add Srina to the call?" So I got on that call, and from then it's been over a year of us talking about FaceTime.
And she would just keep getting in that call. They'd be just like, "Oh, I'm gonna add Srina. We were like, "Oh, okay, like yeah, add her, yeah." And then the jokes, and next thing you know, we have a group chat, and we're snapping, and we literally actually talk every single day now. So
like every single day.
And like if we don't talk. If we don't talk, it's text. If it's not text, it's TikTok, it's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's something. At this point, like I feel like I've told you guys this. I literally feel like this is my family now. Like these are literally the people I'm like living and growing up with and stuff. So it's like, and they've had like a very like played a huge role in like the person I'm becoming. So it's like it's really nice to be able to like, have them here for lounge talks. So Srina, is there anything else you would like to share with the people? I think it's at this point we start talking about, really how the friendship developed, because at this point you just know how we met. Like that's just how we met. It was just, oh, how we became like everyday friends. But I feel like you have to understand, understand the mindset.
I'm
We
trying to bring the people there. I don't know. I don't know how to do it because there's a lot to unpack. It's been a whole like 13, 14, 15 months
It
of
really
talking
has been.
every day. So I think maybe it starts like when I got added to a group chat with his friends. And from then the group FaceTime, it was just one button, one click. I didn't have to be added to the call anymore. It was one click
Right.
on my phone every day. And somehow I discovered that I think Tori and I were both awkward Black girls from PWIs in different places that were just connected by the soul and the spirit since childhood.
That part.
Like that.
That part, because it was like it started to get to the point where it was like, oh yeah, like obviously like we watched the same stuff growing up. Like you knew Cheetah Lose for Christmas, like that's set. Like we already see a foundation laid
Right.
out. But like now it started getting to the point where we would talk about stuff like music. We would talk about music or TV shows or like different experiences in our life. And it was like we could literally piece together what the other one was going to say, like what that interaction felt like, what it looked like, everything. And so at that point, it was like we have to be friends. Like like you have to be my friend now. Like it's not, we talk every single day now. And not only that, but you understand my experiences and I want to learn from you. And like it's like we're enough alike that like we're not the same person, but it's
Mhm.
also like we're different enough to where I feel like I can learn so much from her. And then like she also just such a supportive friend to me. This is literally anytime you ever hear me talk about somebody who is supporting me and is always just like, not she cut the camera. Literally like anybody, if you ask me to name top 3 people who support me in my life, she would probably be, she's giving top 2. She's giving top 2 for sure.
No, I'm a really big Tori fan, you know, typical Tori fan, in distress fan. I almost called it Here's the Thing. That's one thing. Tori and I don't know what's going on, but it got weird. So Cheetah Girls is weird, right? Because I don't know
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
was weird.
like, big Cheetah Girl fans. Like I don't know people that were like Cheetah Girl stans, right? Tori wasn't one of them.
Right.
Then we found out that we both had a strong interest in Ariana Grande, and
That kind of sealed the deal. But there was one more. There
it
was one
was
more that
that
takes
was
the cake.
so Ariana Grande has a lot of fans. Like
A
she's out
lot.
there. She's
Okay,
legendary.
she has fans, but she has stands, and she has those
Yeah.
people who are, it's like it feels like it's like those are the chill, the chill family, like
Mhm. There's a lot of that, and people have conversations about her all the time.
hmm
When it got to Fifth Harmony, that's when it
that's when I knew.
got a little bit weird because never in my life have I met another Fifth Harmony stan in person the way that I was. When we started quoting Awesomeness TV Fifth Harmony videos,
That's when it sealed the deal. I'm telling you, it sealed the deal because it's like there was nobody else. Like when they broke up, when Camille left the group, like there was no one else who understood at all what I was going through. I had this one girl I knew from like that we like met like talking online about stuff. And so like we had been like friends, but other than that, there was nobody really in my life who was diehard. Like one of my friends would listen to the albums because she cared about me so much. Like she would care about me so much. She wanted to understand a little bit. And so like sometimes we meet up and we just be singing the songs together. But like to actually have like met someone who literally understands off rip. I wasn't off rip. I was like off. Their first single came out on Disney Channel, Miss Moving On. That's where I
yeah,
was.
I was there.
But
I was there for that.
she was there before me a little bit. She was there
I
before
was
me a little
I was
bit.
there for that X Factor audition in 2011, 2012. I was there for that. So
And I, at that point, that's when I was just like, okay, this is my friend. This is one of those people that you meet in your life and you're just like, yeah, they're gonna be here forever. Like you just
mhm.
know. And that was really what sealed the deal. The music taste that we have, it's immaculate.
We're gonna
It's
have to discuss that a
immaculate.
little bit more later on in the episode.
We will.
You know what we should do later is rank albums.
As
Um,
we should.
um,
As we should.
but yeah, that's when it got really weird. And ever since then, we've just grown together.
Honestly. The
Very
jokes.
simple joke, Kiki a lot.
It's a good thing of like we also bounce off of each other really well. Like it's just always like I got a joke, she's got something else to add to it. We keep laughing. It's definitely that kind of thing. And it's also really helpful to have like friends that we have as well. Like the friends we have, like they're also like they have their moments. Like there's one, he has his moments. Xavier has his moments of funny. They're few and far between, but they're moments. But Alani also, she just adds that extra bit of flavor that we need,
Got
you
it
know?
almost every time she got it.
Every time she has something. She's quick with it, so witty, so
Tori,
smart.
Tori, Tori be hitting and missing. I can't. One time a couple months ago, I told Tori that her jokes be hit or miss, and I think that one struck a hard string because she been
It did.
bringing it
I
up. But I said the ratio like 70-30, like 70% of the time they be hitting and they be hitting hard. 30% of the time we get a little bit of crickets.
Okay,
And,
but the thing is, when they're bad though. Like when they're bad, y'all be quiet for minutes. It's not
but
seconds.
me, I think I'm the same though because this past month, honestly, there have been a lot of crickets with me.
There
So I
have been. I don't know what's going on with her, guys, but it's okay. We've been, we FaceTime like every day. And so, she been trying to get a couple jokes off. And they haven't been going. Like, I will be the first one to try to, give a pity laugh. I'll be the first one to give a pity laugh. There hasn't been no pity from my end. No pity. And
I still had some good ones though. I'm trying to remember, but I had some good ones. And it.
I don't know about that one,
Can we talk about
sister.
our impact with lingo? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes, let's please discuss that. I feel like as Black women, first of all, I think it's important to discuss just the impact that AAVE has on society and culture anyways, okay? So like off rip, I be at work, I be like I anything that me and Srina are saying, I'm taking it with me because it's a part of me now. It's a part of me. I go to work and people are they're catching onto it. They're reading the tweets, on TikTok, they just some people would say they want to be us. I'm not, but some people would say that. Some people would say that. Hands off, hands off. But in our group, Serena and I are definitely the ones who bring that new lingo, and we make it, we normalize it. We
We normalize it, and then we got Xavier, taking this to another level. But we normalize it. We normalize.
Yes, we
Um,
definitely do. We use it in our everyday, like we'll kind of just throw one in every now and then, and next thing you know, it's catching. It's
so
catching.
let's talk about what each of us have brought. And I was thinking about this earlier. So a lot of this we got from Twitter a little bit, but like we brought it into the
Hmm.
lingo of everyday life. You see how like Twitter lingo, like we brought it into everyday life.
Exactly.
Please was definitely Tori's impact. Please
Please, but it's all about how you say it. It's all about the please, like
or
sorry,
or
please.
or please. You
Exactly.
be doing that one.
You have to sometimes you got to change up that you got to go up. You have to go up a little bit on the octave. And it's just amazing because like, we all say things and take them in different ways. And
Mhm.
so like, I honestly I praise Serena for that, for bringing that versatility to it. Because sometimes you have an idea and it's just kind of flat. It's just, oh yeah, okay, that's a saying, and you go and bring it up. You just, oh, Serena, please, Serena,
Mhm.
please.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just she's one of those people who'll pull it out of you. She'll pull that creative out of you, and I think that's amazing. Yes, but I definitely have please. But you've had some strong ones. I think you've had some of the strongest.
Um, one that I did have, and this one, I think I created this one myself and
Mm-hmm.
made it a thing for the world, not even just for our friendship. I used to be like, that's anti-black, that's anti this, that's anti that, and I just made it anti. And so when y'all hear
Exactly.
somebody say, "Oh, that's anti," "Oh, that was anti," "He's anti," "She's anti,"
Mm-hmm.
that was my impact. Helped with Tori's impact and with our group's impact.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people at work, I'd be like, bro, you're so anti for that. Like, bro, why would you do that? And they're just like like anti what? Like, how does that work? And it's kind of one of those things you can't even explain. Kind of like the and did and do and don't. It was my impact, but it was my roommate. I got this from my roommate. She was doing this before we left for the pandemic. Kia, shout out to Kia. She was just doing, like, she would say something and it'd be just like, oh my gosh, did you just drop that plate, like, really? And I'd be just like, and did you have to know your verbs. You
But
have
I
to know
said,
your verbs.
I made this point to Tori. I said you can't be dumb and use and did and was and
You
did.
can't, because you'll
Yeah,
just start saying
you
stuff.
can't, because imagine if Tori was like, "Oh, Srina, you look good," and I was like, "And was," That wouldn't make
That
sense.
doesn't make sense. It has to be and do. It has to be and do. It has to be. And I think a lot of people just don't understand that. But one thing I will say, the white girl at work today, she was catching on to it. Now, I'm not saying I loved it, but it was nice to see that the white people, when they do that if they try, they can do it. It was really nice to see. It was really nice to see that. Yes, it was nice to see that.
Nice. Right. Right. Um. Yeah. And did though that was a good impact. That was a good
It
impact.
was. It was strong. It was very strong. What's
Definitely
another one?
please and did anti. I used to say please go to hell a lot. I say that a lot.
Oof.
I liked
I
that one.
definitely did say that to my sister once, and my mother
And
did not like it. She hasn't let me live it down to this day, actually.
yeah, that was me. That was a great one. That was a great one. So,
It was a good one. It's great use outside of the
with
house.
family. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Although it has to be amongst you guys though, because I did say it to somebody at work one time and
You
they
don't
were
say it
pretty
to white
mad.
people. You don't say it to
They were,
white people.
no, but this was a black person though. She didn't like that. She didn't like that. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Religious Southern Black. Sorry, let me talk.
No, it wasn't even like that. She was like, I don't like that.
Okay,
Like the
well,
old girl was mad at.
it's just a friendly thing, you know.
It was a friendly thing. I said it friendly. I don't think sometimes my tone comes off wrong because some people will tell me like, "Oh, Tori, I don't like your tone." Like, "Oh, Tori, you got some attitude," and I'm just like, I really don't. Like sometimes I say stuff and I don't mean it to come out the way that it does, and then it already came out, and so
You do be doing that.
I can't swallow it
That's
back.
very areas of you, actually.
Sometimes I don't mean to though. Like a lot of the times I don't mean to. Like if I'm annoyed, sometimes it really will come out of my tone, but I don't mean it to. Like I don't mean it to. I am annoyed, but like I don't mean to sound annoyed. It's a
One thing
lot.
about Tori, she gonna say what she thinking sometimes.
And will
She,
sometimes. It's not all the time. It'd be like if you need to hear, like if somebody genuinely asks me like, hey Tori, like I have this problem and I need to talk to you about it, I will read you, I will tell you what it is. I'm not gonna read you, no, I'm gonna tell you what I think you should do, but then I'm gonna tell you at least 20 times before you leave out of the conversation. But it's up to you, it's your decision, it's on you. I just wanted you to know where I was coming from, and then
Mhm.
you can go make that decision for you, because you don't never gonna put that on me. You're never gonna
But
put that on me.
after you make the decision, if it messes up, she gonna let you know. She gonna
And
let you know.
will
I told you.
and
Tori,
will I'm be like, because I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for you to give me the confirmation that I can say told you so. I'm gonna wait for you to give me the confirmation, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say I don't care if it's a couple months ahead.
you can count on her for that.
It can be 5 months out, and then you just like, okay, go ahead and say it. And I'm gonna be like, told you so. I
Hmm
Sometimes I'll
She,
be right.
you be right though. What do we say? You be right like 80% of the
I'm
time.
right 80%.
75,
I give
75.
75. I give Srina 85, 90. She be right most of the time. Literally, I'm telling you, whenever I have a problem, whenever I'm struggling, whenever I'm down, whenever I'm like, my head is like, girl, you're a loser. You can't do this. You're never gonna be anything. Like, she will literally be the first one to be like, Tori, like, stop. Like, stop right now.
One thing Tori gonna do is let that anxiety take over her day. And I
And
can't
will.
be mad at that because I be letting my anxiety do that, but I be doing it like maybe half the time. She be like Tori be doing it a lot. And she be think she gonna fail, but y'all see what she doing. She know what she needs to do. What I need y'all to
Um,
do is go like and subscribe right now for that support. But yeah,
Yes, and do that. I
yeah.
am gonna say one thing though. I am sorry the podcast hasn't been happening, y'all. I've been busy, child. I've been busy. It was work
She been in that kitchen slaving with that chicken salad.
and have been. It was work, but it was also. I'm trying to get into my music bag a little bit. I've been writing a little bit more, guys, and it's going. I'm not saying I'm putting anything out. I'm just saying it's going. Things are happening. Things are shifting in the atmosphere.
Let's talk about me and Tori's record label that's coming up. So
Let's.
expect in the next 20 years for Tori and I to be business partners. We're gonna be making records, producing, writing, creating, film
Exactly.
editing, and producing. It's gonna be a lot because the people aren't doing it right.
They're not. They're not. And I don't want to come for anybody's neck because I'm trying to make friends in the industry for the future.
Can we just talk about this person and let the audience guess who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this person that had a lot going for them. You
So
know,
much.
we've loved her for years. I'm them for years.
Hmm.
Um, they had a lot going behind them at one point. They had a great track. It was really a motivating track.
It was
It was
so
so
motivating. Wow.
motivating. It was so motivating. And it was ready to take off. We were ready to take off. Everyone was talking about her. And we were like, oh, her team gonna do her right. Because look
We
at
were
this.
like, she gonna be the next big thing.
She is. I'm still gonna hold out hope.
Okay,
Like,
okay. Yeah. You're right.
you
You're
give
right.
me
You're right.
2 more months of hope. So I'm gonna
Spoke
say,
too
I'm
soon.
gonna do
Spoke too
present
soon.
tense. I'm gonna do present tense. She's gonna be the next big thing when that came out, when that very motivating video came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was quiet.
It was so quiet.
It,
It was so quiet that you could hear not even a pin drop because that's too big of an object. You could hear
a feather.
a feather. You could hear a feather hit the ground, and it was just it took me aback. It took us both aback because it
Yes.
was like they had such a strong start, like
Mhm.
so much support, so
So
much
many
backing
ways
from
they could
people in
go.
the
The
industry.
pop route, the R&B route, the
Could
collaborations.
do could have done both.
Could have
Could
done
have
both.
done both.
Could have done. And there are girls now that are doing what she could have done.
Mm-hmm. And
Right?
could have been the first to do what she could have that she was doing in a long time. Could have been the
And
first in
she
a
was
long
doing some of the first things. She was doing some of the things that those
time.
performances, that music video, she was becoming one of those girls that was curating trademarks. Now
Mm-hmm.
the girls have already duplicated it and ran
And
off.
was on a big tour. Was on
Mhm.
a big tour. Had the backing. Has the backing of so many strong
Black
female
women,
artists.
black
Black
women,
black
but
women.
also black. Let me not say black passing. I shouldn't say.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
don't
say
say
that.
that. Yeah,
I shouldn't say that.
take that
But
back.
but female. I sound like Gina Rodriguez. Female.
Strong voices.
Yeah,
She had support from backing from strong
really
voices.
there. It was there.
And
And
to say that the team, I'm not gonna say that it's her. I'm gonna put it on the team.
team.
The
The
team
team.
dropped the ball.
Mhm.
The
I
team dropped the ball.
we've been talking about her team for a long time. I want to know who her team
Hmm.
is. I want the names, the numbers, the emails, the addresses. I want all of that.
Honestly, if they can just get us on a conference call, if they can
Mhm.
get us on a call just like this, if we could just put one more little box down there and we just start chatting, because we have the ideas as consumers of music, as lovers of music, as writers, as creatives ourselves.
Mm.
It's hard to see somebody with with so much talent and so many people around them to support them, such a strong backing. It's so hard to see them not at the top right now where they could be.
To think that the last time their name was doing something and there was product behind it, we hadn't known what COVID was. That's unacceptable.
Didn't know a thing. Didn't know a thing. Could have.
We've
And
been through a pandemic.
the thing
We've
is
been
that
through a pandemic.
she could have been like right at the forefront. Like she could have had them on like by the
Mhm.
could have had them by the neck at the before pandemic, pre-pandemic.
Before pandemic, you know what else? I just realized, you know what else happened that she didn't take advantage of that she could have because she was starting at that point? TikTok had not been up. TikTok got up like a couple months after her debut and it was silent. To this day, she could have had that TikTok hit and went up. Not a
That, but also, I don't know if you recall, junior year when the group split.
not the group.
Maybe this is
Spoiler. Yes. Uh-huh.
once the group split, that collab came out. It was kind of club vibes. I don't know if
Mhm.
you know the collaboration I'm talking
I do.
about.
I do.
Okay. That came out, and honestly, I thought the two songs on there could have been a hit.
Mhm.
Didn't take that and run with it. Came out with another single. I was like, okay, this is solid piece. Came out with a feature, and then also did another feature. And then by that point, we were freshmen in college. Well, I was a freshman in college, and you were taking your gap year, which I would love to speak with you about in soon coming up here. Just completely could have rode that wave out of just doing that collaboration and then doing a feature and then another feature and then doing that song, and then doing that song. Really could have catapulted them. And then also that tour, that backing from the tour didn't run with it. It's just there's so many moments where something could have happened, and now I'm kind of worried that that the vehicle may have stalled.
You know what made me mad? Let me not cuss. Because she gonna make me cuss. You know what made me mad was this person happened to say something like, "Oh, who y'all want featured? What y'all want?" If you don't have that album track list already planned out, I'm gonna beat you up.
and didn't have it. And that's clear to us now because it's been months since said tweet. And it's upsetting.
There were pictures of her and another said big artist, like the
Mm-hmm.
video picture I'm talking about. Neither
Mm.
of them have dropped since. Neither of them have dropped since. So I'll end this topic by saying that if this said person has any connections with listening to this ever, hit us up. We have producers waiting. We have writers waiting. We already have ideas of features waiting. We already have the sound in our
We
heads.
have the
Mhm.
we had the pieces, and she has the connections to see them through.
Right. We have the pieces. We know exactly what sounds I think you would want and what we need
Mm-hmm.
for different genres, for different audiences to get your global. We need you global.
It's
We have
global.
we want Pharrell on 2 tracks and Timbaland on 5. I'll
And
just
we
put
can honestly, if we can get a Spanish version of something going in, maybe get a feature with another person.
third.
In.
Yes.
You see
Yes.
what I'm
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. We want Victoria Monet on pen. We want her on pen, and we want Ariana on pen.
We need them on not we don't want them. We need them
We
on
need
pen.
them on pen.
And
Set
she
things
has
up.
the connections.
Yeah.
She has the connections. She's got to pull that phone out. Hey girl, meet me in the studio noon.
Because this whole throw an ass in the back of music videos, we love to see it, but we need more.
Exactly. We
We
did. And
want
and we supported her.
and
And we
we support.
supported her when that release when that release happened. We supported her and we were like, mm-hmm, this is a great moment. But
Right?
we need the rest.
Right.
You can't
Because
just give 50.
half of the women in that video you should be having features with. They should be on your project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we said what we had to say.
Okay. Now I do have a question for you. Okay. So school. Can you tell us what you're majoring in, what you're minoring in, and what you plan to do with, your career?
Yeah, so I go to a school. I don't know if I want to say exactly what school it
Okay,
is,
that's fine.
but I go to a school, great school, I'm majoring in political science and African diaspora studies, very pro-black, very black woman for liberation. And I don't know what I want to do yet. We're still figuring that out. Thinking about law school, heavy. Thinking about Georgetown law, heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be in
It's
DC.
giving college road trip.
Right? It is, but without the daddy in my business. But
Mm.
we gonna be in DC for sure. And yeah, I'm very excited to be at school. I took a gap year, like Tori mentioned, for a year, and it was kind of slow. It was good. I did a little internship in DC. It was very cute, but the social scene wasn't there. I was just by myself, and I'm just happy to be back at school, learning, making friendships, meeting new people. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time.
And this was in the pandemic that this gap year ended up ending in.
It
Yes.
ended in like we had the first couple months. We were litty, we were in DC doing the internship, and then I was in Puerto Rico for a trip, and COVID hit, and I came back mask on. It was so sad. I came back mask on, but it was, COVID was hard on everybody.
Hmm.
Definitely on Tori and her people, because they did get to go on campus.
Hmm.
I had the opportunity to go on campus, so
It
it was
was
hard. I kind of won, but
kind of down bad. I'm not gonna lie. Not even gonna pretend. Was
mm,
down bad. Was down bad.
yeah. So it's been a great time at school. Sometimes we want to drop out. Our group chat is called Black Scholars, but we still want to drop out because and
It's
do.
the truth. We are. I think that's another great thing about our group is that we are honestly we're a strong collective. We're a strong mentally stable at times collective. And honestly, to be completely honest with you, what's really great about our group, I think there's 5 of us, and so it's really nice that when one of us is off or if two of us are off, you kind of have somebody else to reel you back in, kind of pull you back in and be like, okay girl, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Like,
Mhm.
we're getting these degrees and we're getting them in the time span.
And we
We're,
have diverse interests. We got a math, we got a
yeah,
bio, we got like a business entertainment, we got a
we've got a psych,
we
we've
got
got a psych.
psych, we've got political science. We're all over the place. We got good discussions going on, and we like,
Right.
girl, if you don't turn in that test, if you don't turn in
Exactly.
that paper, come on now.
Honestly, we've been on Srina heavy this summer with that summer class. Only one of us in summer class. We had been on her a little heavy. I'm not gonna lie to you. She was slacking a little bit. And it's easy for me to say she was slacking because I'm not in summer classes. Now, one thing I'm gonna do.
Got Tori in that stat class.
It was accounting.
Counting,
That's
counting
first.
class.
Accounting took me out.
We were
I'm gonna
there
tell
for
you what
her.
happened.
We were
It
there
was
for her.
my third test.
Mhm.
I failed it. I failed the third test. I've told you guys about
Yeah.
this.
The
Third test,
podcast, we know. The podcast know. But for the new people, yeah.
Srina
Mhm.
had to get Srina on the call because after I failed the test, I'm telling you, shambles. Was
I
crying, voice was
have
quivering
ever
a little bit.
seen Tori that down. I think Tori was so down that, like, you see, like how Tori's like, ah. Imagine Tori just sunken into herself.
It was bad, and I
The
think
voice was saying, Serena, I just failed my test. I don't want to. I don't. That's what it
voice
was.
was quiet.
Voice
Voice
was
was
voice was
quiet.
quiet. It was quiet.
And I
And I.
think it's definitely hard, I think, for people who even know me to kind of see me as that because, like, to a certain extent, I'm definitely not like that with anybody. Like, if I'm not close to you, you're not gonna see that. Like, you're really not gonna see that. I'm just gonna tell you about the situation, and I'm gonna giggle a little bit to pretend like it's okay. But like, if you really know me, and I'm calling you after I failed that test, like, you
Mhm.
just know. And it was bad. I only had like six people. I remember I was crying to my mom. Old girl was in the back. I was like, I just don't know how I feel. I tried so hard. It was bad, y'all. It was bad. It was bad.
I think that was around. That was after. I don't know if that was that during my down bad. Remember when I was
It
down?
was like right before. It
It was
was the
right before.
cusp of right
So we
before.
were bringing Tori up from that because Tori was we were bringing Tori up from that. Then
Mhm.
she got back up a little bit. I was in the trenches.
By the time I got up, she was down. I don't even know how it happened. It's like it happened overnight. It's like I went
Mhm.
to put my hand. She put her hand out, and right when she put her hand out, and I grabbed onto it, she pulled me up, and she fell right back down.
It was giving very anti Michelle. It was when they go high, we go low,
And
and
she
I
was
went
low.
low.
She was the lowest she's ever been.
I was having some social and academic problems at the end of the semester,
It was
and
heavy on it.
was sleeping in that lobby of my dorm. It wasn't.
It
Yeah,
wasn't her best moment. It wasn't her brightest.
it
It
wasn't.
wasn't her brightest moment. It wasn't.
But Tori and I, we've been working on ourselves, help with
A lot.
other, and I think we're better now.
Mm-hmm.
We're better
Yeah.
now. But with that said, yeah, we are each other's support system.
We really are, honestly. Black women have to support each other though,
Do
and I feel like this is a really great moment to segue into this conversation. I think, how do you feel that I kind of wanted to discuss this with you, but not like something, I kind of want to discuss like a black woman topic with not being something that we've like discussed numerous times before. We have like in-depth discussions often. And so I kind of just wanted to know, just maybe you can just share with the people how you feel about the importance of empowering black women in the community is.
I could talk about this a lot because I am a proud Black feminist.
Hmm.
I believe that we need to incorporate all of our identities to have peace with each other. And at this point, Black women, especially Black queer women, Black trans women, we're at the bottom, and so we got to bring each other. We got to bring each other up. It's bad. It's bad. We
It
can talk about
is.
different industries. We can talk about different industries. Black men, we gotta talk about y'all. White people, we already know. White women, Tori, gotta do better. Gotta do better. But yeah, I think like what I realized, nobody here for us like we here for each other.
Honestly,
Nobody here
yeah,
for like we here for each other, and nobody here for us like we here for everybody else. Everybody else, we
that
got you.
part.
Everybody else, we got you. Black women always at the forefront of pretty much every movement out there for liberation of all, and we out here by ourselves sometimes. But I think that that's just what we do. We got to do better. I'm gonna start gatekeeping more. I think I'm gonna start gatekeeping more, and I think that you kind of you don't like that a lot. I know you might not like you
I
don't like.
I I don't I think I really, the thing about me is that I really love having these conversations with you, especially because a lot of times we definitely agree on things, but there are also times when we disagree, but I really like want to hear your side, like I want to have the open like discussion and conversation because like in a couple months I could literally think so differently about something that we've discussed and I was on a completely different side than I would be at the time.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy hearing your side of things, but that is I think there are some places where we do differ and I think it's mostly just I think it like I said before, like we're a lot that like we have a lot of similarities and stuff, but there are also those differences, but like, differences that where I still feel comfortable trying to see where you're coming from. So like
I
you
think
you want to gatekeep more and I'm more of a maybe we should try our best to,
mm, I think one thing about I think you're a very open-minded person. And I think that that is a good thing and also a very challenging thing cuz I think
mhm.
sometimes you be letting people in where they don't deserve your energy and love.
I'm not gonna lie, it is a very tricky like thing to be because like it's kind of like I'm trying to be optimistic like at the same time. So like it was really again like I know we've discussed this behind closed doors and everything and I don't have a problem like bringing this up or anything now. I've really struggled with the Trump situation and Black Lives Matter during the pandemic
Mhm.
last summer
Who did it?
around this exact time.
Mm.
It was heavy. Tensions were heavy. It was
Twitter was a dark
so bad.
place.
Bro, it was. And then on top of that, like even the streets were a dark place. Like you couldn't go anywhere without it
Anywhere.
being politically, racially charged or feeling some type of something.
And I have mixed feelings about that. To this day,
Hmm.
I have mixed feelings about that because if you say that being Black in June 2020 was not at least slightly traumatizing for you, there's something to unpack. Because everywhere was a conversation about whether or not our lives mattered. And we couldn't escape it.
And
Even
it
Twitter, where like it was supposed to be like a fun place, it was everywhere. And I'm not mad at that because I feel like awareness needs to be spread. I feel like that was like that was the biggest part of like the movement for me was
mhm.
that you couldn't escape it. Like it was everywhere. You had no choice, but you like how people in the past would be like, that's just not my type of topic. Like I don't
Yeah.
heard of that before, so I'm not going to contribute. But like at this point, literally everyone has heard of Black Lives Matter. Everyone has to have been aware of some of the issues that we've been talking about. So that's why I can't even be mad about it. But sometimes the performative stuff, you couldn't escape that.
Mhm.
It was the black squares. There was a lot going on, and it
And
was
I
a dark.
feel like it was even harder because like at that same time, like I had be like we've talked about this and I talked about this in the podcast as well. You've heard it was really so easy to be so desensitized to it. Like it was like it got to the point where people would ask me about George Floyd and I'd be just like what more do you need to like for me it would became getting so defensive. I was like, what more do you need to know? Like you saw what happened. Like people are
Right.
out here and they're saying dumb stuff. They're saying stupid. They got stupid responses, and I don't know what more you want me to say on the topic. Like, don't ask me what I think. It's clear if you have any human decency at all, you understand that me being told my life doesn't matter every single day, but then you going and saying, "Hey, but Tori,
Mhm.
I support Trump, but like care about you though. My black friend that I had in high school, care about you though. Haven't heard from you in months. Haven't heard from you in years. Care
But
about
I'm here. I hear you. I see you. What was it? All the stuff that was said.
I'm here with my heart. My
But
heart
I will never understand you. But I'm here for you. We don't. We don't.
didn't love it.
We didn't love that.
Hated
I
it.
had somebody that I was friends with in fifth grade find me on Instagram, DM me, and say, "Hey, I'm here for you," because she probably hasn't met another Black person since, and that is an issue. Because why are you talking to me? It has
Big
been
problem.
it has been a calm like 10 years, full 10 years. Why are you in my DMs talking about? Can you be a part of this video I'm making? And the video was never made because at that point the week had passed and they didn't care anymore. So that's the type of things that I'm talking about. Like I think that we're
Mhm.
and back to that, like we were here for each other when that was happening. Like
Right.
especially because like in the place where like Tori grew up and I also grew up, other than like where I live right now, which is in Maryland, like in the past I was always in predominantly white areas, mostly had white friends, like, and it's hard because you can't really tell, like as much as like you love your friends, like sometimes you gotta look at them for what they are.
Mhm.
Like I had a friend that if I was still friends with her, if I didn't move to this place where there was like a diverse group of people, I found out I think she's a Trump supporter, and it would have been really hard for me. It would have been really hard for me. So I'm happy
Mhm.
that we have each other and like people in our groups to kind of work with because it was dark.
I think it definitely like showed me like there's definitely like a level to where I can't like there has to be like a hard line, and I think that I didn't really realize that at the time, but like now that I'm like thinking more on it, and like the more that we have like these conversations, I'm like understanding like why I'm understanding why you want to gatekeep. I'm understanding the importance of keeping like some things for ourselves and then not letting, and then obviously like sharing some other things with other people, just
Mhm.
because of like the fact that like it was such a dark time for me at that point to like be going on Instagram every single day, and like yeah, from the people I go to school with and the people that I met while I was in school, and then meeting Xavier and Serena's friends and seeing what they're posting on their story, like Black Lives Matter, like cut and dry. Black lives are important. They matter. They're valid. Our feelings are everything about us is valid, and it's we're human beings. We deserve that. And then for me to also at the same time like be seeing these people that I literally grew up with, went to lunch with, and knowing that we had different politics, but not knowing how deep that division ran until last summer. And then like wanting like wanting to and still having love for them, but
Mhm.
not necessarily like it was just really hard for me to separate those two. Like, yeah, you can love somebody a lot, but that doesn't mean that they're a good person necessarily, or that doesn't necessarily mean that they always. I can't even really
So,
phrase it. It's
so a year later, how is that looking for you now with those people?
for the most part, I had kind of just stopped talking to anybody really that I live near. Like, to be completely honest with you, when I went off to college, like I ended up losing like a friend over this because like I just wasn't keeping in touch. But like it definitely showed that like high school isn't all that. Like once you like literally once you remove yourself from like your town, once you leave your town and you go, and I wasn't even that far away. I was like 45 minutes away. Like I'm in Atlanta. Like I was like I have like a completely separate life then. And like that's the craziest thing is that like I was talking to one of my friends about this. It's so crazy. Like 1 year you'll be doing this thing with these people and you're just like, oh yeah, like these are my friends. Like these are the people I'm gonna have in my life. Like these are definitely this is it. Like this, I'm happy here. And you cut to this being 2 years later, and I'm having this conversation with somebody I wouldn't have even met if I didn't even go to the school that I went to. If the pandemic didn't happen. Like to be honest, like there were so many things that had to happen for me and you to get to this point to be doing a podcast together at all, or for you to just even be hearing my podcast at all. Because let's be honest, if you heard Xavier's friend did a podcast, it probably wouldn't even really be like, no. But like it took so many things for this friendship to happen. And at the same time that I can sit here and be kind of sad that like there are some friends in my life or some people in my life previously who don't really think that my voice matters or that my life matters or that I matter at all. It's so nice to like know that those things, it's kind of just like comforting to know that those things just had to happen for me to get to this place where I'm like working on myself and I'm growing and I'm a strong and independent black woman, talking to my strong independent black friend, it's a really nice thing, and I think it kind of makes it worth it, like having to like see that kind of stuff last summer and, to just learn and get to this point, it makes it worth it to have the like amazing friends that I have now.
Mm, that's great.
Ariana would have clapped like that too. Ariana would have clapped like that. She would
Can we
have.
rate
You
this?
know
Can we
it.
rate this Ariana albums? Is that too much of a turn?
Yes.
Is that too much
Yes.
of a turn?
Let's
Okay, okay.
let's rank the albums, child. Okay.
Tori and I have had this conversation
Numerous
numerous
occasions.
times, and I was thinking about it in my head. I think I changed my mind about some things. I think we need to have an updated conversation.
You've changed your mind about things? What could have possibly
I think
changed?
okay. I think I changed my mind about some things.
Okay. Do you want to start with features first?
Are we doing albums or what?
We can do albums, but I also want to have a discussion about features because I feel like her features, not we don't have to rank every single one of them, but if we can do like a top 5,
That's valid.
I think that would be valid. Yeah.
So starting with the
Another
album,
thing she brought to the table, valid.
mhm,
That's valid.
I
Yes.
think how many do we have? Because I want to start with the bottom. We have we still have yours truly, my everything, dangerous woman, sweetener, thank you next, and then positions.
Positions. You don't want to add Christmas and Jill in there?
Christmas and chill. Christmas and chill is in
Christmas
there.
and chilling and
Yeah.
positions. Okay.
So we have 7.
Okay.
No, I don't think I said this before. I don't think this is the point I made before, but in 7th place, and a lot of y'all gonna be mad at me. A lot of y'all.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna be mad.
A lot of y'all gonna be mad. Let me just look at this. Let me just look through this track list real quick.
Honestly, let me look as well because I don't want to be giving false information.
Um, y'all gonna be real mad at me, but I'm gonna have to put "Thank You" next in 7.
I don't know who's gonna be mad at you for that, but it ain't
I
me.
think a lot of people will be mad at me because a lot of people saying that's her best work.
But I feel like they only thought it was her best work because really, let's be honest, Ariana had hits prior to. She had hits. She had hits. She had hits. She was goaded for me. I'm not saying she for me she just hit. For us, she just hit legendary.
Mm-hmm.
She had hit. She had hit a different round
She had
though.
hit Icon. I think with "Thank You" next, I think she had hit Icon.
Yeah. And so I think she had hits before, as we know. She had Dangerous Woman, she had Honeymoon Avenue. A lot of people knew that one. A lot of people knew The Way.
Way.
They knew Problem.
Yes.
That was one was Problem, child. What is it, Problem? I don't know. Anyways, she had
Problem.
Focus. She kind of had Focus. She had Focus. She had to focus a little bit.
What was
She
the hit?
had
What was the hit on my everything? Oh, it's Problem. Yeah, Love Me Harder was a little bit of a
also
hit.
people liked Break Free. People went crazy for Break Free a little
People
bit.
liked Break for this.
I
Yeah.
remember when I saw that live, child. She had the little glow sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and I think that Thank You Next was kind of just because she had Imagine. People liked Imagine, and then the fans really only knew about when she dropped Needy, because we had that little
Oh,
tidbit.
Needy got it for me. Needy got it, and that might be the one thing that
But
I.
then people were really into Seven Rings and Thank You Next.
Seven
And then
Rings.
Break Up With Your Girlfriend.
They were great.
Mm-hmm.
However, was it her best work? I'd have to thoroughly disagree.
I think it's only not the best of the best because I knew she was coming from a place of hurt. And that's not even on any hate, no shade. We love Ariana. We love Ariana.
None of this is on Ari. Ari, first of
And
all,
isn't.
still
And
streaming
isn't.
next. Everything, even number 7, still streaming.
Every day something's streaming. To be completely honest with you, at least if I'm not getting 10 Ariana songs off, I must be sick.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see me on Spotify, you can follow me on Spotify, Tori Nicole. You can
Mm.
follow me on Spotify. But if I'm not getting at least 10 Ariana songs, even just features count as well. If I'm not getting 10 Ariana listens in a day, something's wrong with me. I'm just sick. I must be sick that day. Like I must not have had my phone. I must have had a test study for it. Cause something must have been distracting me from greatness.
It's because we're still streaming, even though that's number 7 for me.
We are still streaming. Now, if you could tell me your top 2 off that album as well.
Top 2 off of Thinking Next.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give it to Needy. And we're gonna give it to Wow. Wow.
I'm gonna give one of my picks to Fake Smile just because I've been hearing that one a lot lately on the live album and it been going real crazy. It been going real crazy.
Um, I think we're gonna give it to Needy, and we're gonna give it to. Ooh, no, I didn't like that one.
Sometimes, see, that's the problem. That's kind of the problem. I like everything on the album, but if I have to pick a top 2 and it's not the one I said, I don't know what else to say. And that's not even no shade. Like that's not no shade, no shade on that.
Yeah, you lost me. Not that one.
I'm not gonna lie. When it first came out, Bad Idea had me in a chokehold.
That's the one I was just listening to. I was thinking about it.
I'm gonna give my second pick to Imagine.
Is it bad if I disagree with you? I was either gonna give it to Imagine or Ghostin'. I like Ghostin'.
The thing about Ghostin' is that I can't listen to it. Like I know the words.
Mhm.
When I saw her interview with Zach Sang though, and then she said that she didn't want to put on the album, but Scooter said it would be a good pick. I was that song is you know who. That song is, and so I can't. It's hard for me to listen to that.
Am I a hater if I also have Seven Rings as a bonus? Just because I feel like it was such a change maker. I
I'm
think
not gonna lie, Seven Rings. If it plays,
I'm a
I'm
bob my head a
good.
lot. I'm a bob my head.
I'm not even gonna just bob my head when it gets to that bridge.
Now I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna do a little.
It was revolutionary because nobody was doing that in pop. Like they were doing it in hip hop, but like
Mhm.
people weren't doing trap beats in pop yet, not heavily like that. And so when she came out with that, it was like a
Yeah,
revolutionary.
Ariana had my cosign with Seven Rings. I was like, all
The,
right, we will give you that one.
that and the video was iconic.
Fact,
You really went to Tiffany's and got Seven Rings, child.
facts.
We supported.
Um, yeah. So that was my number seven.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have a different
I
one?
agree completely with your seven. That's not.
I think we might see eye to eye with this ranking because
I'm
my
pretty
number
sure we've
six,
seen eye to eye with ranking.
my number six, is yours truly, and yes,
I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna
yeah,
get
I'm gonna say that because listen, it's a classic. I think
it is a classic.
it was a great breakout. Like it was a great
Mm-hmm.
breakout album. Baby I still top 10 on my favorite Ariana songs of all time. I will, if you play that song, guarantee I'm standing up and I'm shaking some. Guarantee I'm shaking up. I'm shaking some. But it wasn't a lot of material, and it was her start.
It was her very start. For me, I think it's the fact that I just don't really listen to three of the songs on there. There's three of the songs on there that I don't really listen to Better Left Unsaid, Popular Song, Lost Me, and Daydreaming. I
One
be
hundred
hearing it,
percent.
but
I those three.
the rest of them,
Almost never enough is top three for me of all time. For me personally, for
top
me
three all time,
all time,
all time.
all time.
I'm not gonna say all that.
Maybe I'm ahead of myself.
I ain't gonna
Now I'm thinking about songs because
all
Nasty
time,
there.
child.
Actually,
All
I lied. No, I didn't. It might be a top three of all time.
my number one for this album, my out of my two picks, my number one's You'll Never Know. I don't know why I used to be on that bus.
Mm-hmm.
You will never know. And I used to be up in there now. White folks be looking at me. I'd be just like,
That was me with Baby I was out there dressing ridiculous up there in
that. But
2000.
I'm gonna give my second pick to Right There because of the Tori Kelly cover of it. And it's not I love Ariana's version. Love that. But when she went on the MTV brand new artist thing and Ariana came out from the side and started singing with her, solidified. Solidified. It's right there for me.
Yeah, I definitely 110% had that like sunflower two-piece set in that Amazon cart because of that Baby I music video.
Really?
She was impactful to me.
Really the two piece.
The two-piece. She was very impactful to me. She was.
Two
Um,
piece like chicken, child.
so we can back on the chicken now.
Hit
That's
or
what
miss?
we're doing.
Hit or
Well,
miss? That was a hit. That was a hit or miss. It
that
was
was
a
it.
miss.
We're gonna
It was a miss.
so the next album, number five, we gonna give that to Sweetener. Did I lose you?
That's
Did I
where
lose?
we differ. That's where we differ. Yeah, that's the one part we differ.
You want to give it to my everything?
I'm gonna give it to my everything.
Uh,
Wait.
wow.
Is okay. It's like a switch between the two because I love Sweetener so much. Like I love
Love
it, but at the same time, for me,
mm,
for me,
mhm.
I don't think it's the strongest thing, but like I love her connection to it, if that makes sense. Like
I
at
agree.
that point in her life, she was, and it was like she had taken those what 2 years off, and I
Mm.
was like, dang, like Ariana, like that's my girl. Take your time, and she took her time, and she came out with this piece, and
She
it
came
felt like
back strong.
love.
I will never forget the promotion. The promotion for that album was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
because she really cared about it.
But like in the songs, you can hear like that love that she has for life.
You're right. Maybe you're convincing me because Rem, God is a woman.
Cause
Oh
Good
wait,
Night and
you know
Go,
what?
Better Off.
I lied. Yeah, it's still number 5. It's still number
Really?
because I just remember that Blazed and the Light is Coming is on that project.
Okay, if you bring that, okay, that's not really fair
And
because
we got
if
streaming
you
that.
bring, it's not fair because it's not fair. Like I can't tell you why it's not fair because you bring up a valid point. Blaze, though, it grew on me. It not a lot, but like it did that. Like it did that. Like it
Mm,
did that. Like
not enough for me. That's not
you're
enough.
not wrong. I'm telling you, it's a switch. It's a flip flop because
Okay,
at
okay,
first I
okay,
didn't
wait.
like No Tears Left to Cry, and that was a lead single. If I don't like the lead single, I'm questioning you.
So I want to hear your thoughts on my everything, which for me is number 4. I want to hear your thoughts on that then. Because for me, my everything is number 4 because there are no skips. Whereas Sweetener has 1 or 2.
It's just that I have a skip.
What's your skip?
I don't really like Hands on Me. Hands on
Okay.
Me don't really do it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that, right?
Uh-huh.
But is that more of a skip than Blazed or The Light is Coming?
I would rather hear Blaze or Lights Come just because of the cause I got the I like that. I like that that cadence she has on that. I like the delivery of that. I don't like the beginning, no, but like
Hands on Me is a cute little bop though.
which
It
one?
was a cute little bop. Hands
Hands
on
on Me?
Me. A little
I
bit.
can't get past the beginning. To this day, if when this
It
starts,
was
take
given
a
like
hands
she
on me.
wanted
Next.
it was given like she wanted to be like Destiny's Child, but like with herself.
It's
And I
just
liked it.
sometimes the thing is though, is that when you love an artist, you gonna give them like you gonna let them have they pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna let them. I mean, you just understand that you love them so much. You're just like, that's not for me. I'm gonna learn the words though. I support you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna learn the words though, but it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be on replay for me. It's not gonna be on repeat for me.
Okay, but then it makes up for it because we have Best Mistake. We have Love Your Heart and Just a Little Bit of Your Heart.
I
My
didn't really, but the problem is that I also just didn't really like just a little bit of your heart. So now I have two songs on Sweetener and two songs on My Everything. And so are you seeing? And now I just have to pick.
You're right.
There are
But
two songs on each that I don't really like that. So like I can go and like I can choose that loving feeling I get from listening to Sweetener and feeling like I'm the baddest and that there's somebody out there who loves me. I can pick that album way easier than My Everything. But don't get me wrong, My Everything intro, one thing Ariana Grande gonna do is do an intro. She gonna do an
eat those
intro.
intros out.
She gonna do an
Eat those
intro.
intros out.
You're gonna do an intro and it's gonna change everything. It's gonna change because there's nobody out there, in my opinion, besides SZA, who's doing it. Kaylani, I'll give Kaylani, I'll give it to Kaylani, who does intros and does them well.
I feel like there was one Kehlani intro that lost me.
Which one? The one on the second album, Sexy Sweet Seven. What? Which one?
Sexy Savage.
Sexy Seven. Yeah. He
There
did.
was one
I
intro.
under that. If you say that intro, I understand.
Yeah. No, it was
It
yeah,
was
we
empowering. It's not one I go back and listen to. That mixtape though, that intro beat, let it play.
I be streaming that
Let it
mixtape
play.
frequently.
Because it was
Frequently. And
good.
listen to that.
Because it was good.
I like
Also, there's the bridge of that song she did with BJ, the Chicago kid or something like that.
it. The mixtape.
There's the bridge on that?
Uh-huh.
Crazy.
Uh-huh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
But back to Ariana. Yeah, she gonna eat an intro up. Okay, so we differ. So you got 5 My Everything, 4 Sweetener. I got 5 Sweetener, 4 My Everything.
I'll say this though, it depends on the day. It depends. Sometimes if I really feel R&B girl, my everything going in that fifth.
I think maybe it's because I'm a really big R&B girl.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if I could put Rem on my everything, she'd move up to third.
Really? To three?
I lied because three is Christmas and chill.
Three gotta be Christmas chill. And it's
Three is
only
chill.
Christmas and chill before positions, before Dance Woman, best work.
Best work.
But because of those two, you gotta take it down three. And top three, for it to be in that top three bracket and not even be a full length like thing, big.
Very
That's how
big.
big. That's how Donald Trump would say it.
Big, big.
Big wall.
Because why would you eat like that? And
There were
no covers. You know how people be making these Christmas albums and they be doing these covers? All original. And what do I do on the first day of December every year? I stream
run it up. Honestly, when Christmas in July starts on Hallmark, it's getting played that week.
Because we got intro. We got What Did This Christmas, which
What did this Chris now talk about throwing some on a Christmas tree?
Not just on Christmas. You're not gonna make me cry like that on Christmas.
That, but also December.
December's a conversation.
And winter things.
Winter things is beautiful. But for me, it's What Is This Christmas? What Is This Christmas every
What Is This Christmas? We'll start throwing it back.
She's at the top of my playlist sometimes.
I will throw it back.
I remember on the first day of December, I called Tori at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And I was asleep.
She was slumped. She answered that phone. I spent that full 13 minutes streaming them 6 songs and throwing it back. Full 13 minutes, no skips, went right through.
She started getting a little tired towards the end, but I wasn't.
because she had to stay there and watch and listen.
She's not used to the cardio like that. It was a hard 13. It was a hard 13.
Anyways, so we're gonna let her be anti. It was a really great album. That's a number 3. I don't even know if there's further conversation about that. I think that's a strong 3. And here's where we get busy. And here's where people might disagree. We're gonna put positions at number 2.
And are.
Okay, we're gonna put positions at number 2.
We're putting deluxe there as well, correct?
Positions deluxe. And I have no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
No ifs, ands.
I don't care what anybody says about it.
And you had to be there in 2016 to understand that placement.
I think that if you were not streaming Ariana frequently before she dropped Dangerous Woman, you don't have an opinion.
You don't, because it's not valid. If you weren't there, you can't place it. Because as badly as I want to go back, and let me tell you this, I love India Ari's video song. Like, that song be making me feel like, I can't even explain it, like a black soul. Like, forget the body I'm in right now. My soul. Yes, my soul comes out of my body when that song comes on. Yeah. Sometimes for certain artists, you can't go back and listen to the albums because even though they sound the same, but like it would feel different to my mom, but it would be, but to me it'd be like, oh, this is not really the sound I'm used to. Like, this isn't really what music is right now.
For me, where that is the case. People gonna be real mad at me for this. Like, extremely mad at me for this. But for me, this was the case with Rihanna at first. Because I was streaming Rihanna ever since I was a kid, right? But I was on that Pandora wave for a while. So we weren't listening to the albums through and through. And so it hadn't been until I got Spotify in like middle school where I was like, let me just listen to this album through and through. And at the time, I was like, I think I had to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I think I had to be there because now I can stream the albums through and through, and I'd be listening to Anti through and through, and like everything that she's dropped since then. Yeah. I would listen to Rated R through and through, but I had to be there for some of them.
It's like the newer kids who have never heard, like, who have never maybe seen the first High School Musical. You can't go and listen to you can't go and listen to High School Musical. You can't go and listen to Cheetah Girls and feel that nostalgic feeling that we felt at that in 2005, 2003, 4, 6. You can't go back and do that because even though you've seen it, it doesn't have that hype. Like, you don't understand. Like, people were hyped up about Twilight. If you go back and watch the movies now, it's
For me, that's one thing for me. I was not on the Twilight train, and I don't think I can do that because I wasn't there.
I'm not gonna
You know?
lie. I saw them. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't teen yet. I was preteen. It wasn't given.
I'm a full grown 20-year-old. I still haven't watched the movies. And at this point, I think if I go back and watch them,
It's cringe. Don't do it.
I don't think I had to be there, you know? And so I feel the same way about Ariana. And I think that that's why if you were not there for Dangerous Woman and Prior, it's really hard to have an appreciation for what positions brought to the table.
That I'll give people, if you jumped on, if you started listening on Dangerous Woman and you would put that as a top two, I'll allow it. But if you just started with Thank You Next, please get out because you're not even part of the conversation. You don't
Yeah.
even count because
Now,
you think that Thank You Next is her best because you were there that time. You see, the way that you feel about Thank You Next is the way that we feel about Dangerous Woman.
mm-hmm.
You had to be there. And if you weren't there listening to Thank You Next, from in my opinion, you can't go and look at Ariana's life right now and then go listen to Dangerous Woman. You
Mm-hmm.
can't. You can't do that. You just can't. You can't even do that. No, 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 no. Here's what I meant to say. Here's what I meant to say. I messed that up. You can't look at Ariana's life right now and then go listen to Thank You Next because it doesn't correlate. You had to have seen what she was going through in her life at the time to
Mm-hmm.
resonate with the music. And so now that she's not there and now that she's not back in 2016,
Right.
Ariana, you
Right.
can
Because you
feel it.
won't have the right appreciation for like my everything if you weren't there for her Big Sean
It'll
relationship.
just be
It'll
sounds.
just be sounds. But we
Just
remember when she was
sounds.
on that red carpet with Big Sean.
And we remember the incident. We remember the donuts.
Mm-hmm.
We were
We
there.
remember that I hate America. And today we stand here for saying that.
We we
We
stand.
agree. I hate America too, girl.
2015, 2016, no, 2014,
Mm-hmm.
2014,
My everything era,
2015, Ariana.
my everything era was a little bit
It was
messy.
a little messy.
You had to be there. You had to be there
And
for it.
we've never discussed the mess, but it was messy. It was
Mm-hmm.
real messy. She did hang out with Fifth Harmony at one point, though. She did do that. She did do that.
It was
But
messy too, child, though. Come on now.
it was so messy. But that's the same thing there. People look at me crazy when I say I liked Fifth Harmony and they go back and try to listen to the album. And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Anyways, but yeah, my everything was definitely that was an era to be alive in, and so that's why we have appreciation for it. Even if
Exactly.
so, back to my original thought. Positions is top two because where's
Why
this get?
wouldn't it be? Let's discuss the part that is the song, that is the album of this. Okay, wait. So you remember when I said that 2020, it came out 2021, right? That's when the deluxe came out. Regular positions came out 2020. But for this conversation, we should go ahead and just say it was late 2020, early 2021, because at the same time, she still released the album of the year. Let's just go ahead and say that. I love you, Olivia Rodrigo. We heard your album, we listened to it together, loved it. You have
You
you
have
have
an
a
impact.
future.
You have an
You have
impact.
a future.
You're gonna be up there. You're gonna be up there.
You're gonna be up there with the big names. But as of right now, Ariana, she kicked the year off right. She
Yeah.
started it right. She said, okay, yep, positions 34, 35. Go ahead, take this. Here's this album. Oh, yeah, in January or something. She said, here's the deluxe. Okay, I'm gonna go get married now. So I'll see y'all later. And position just it has that feeling that Sweetener gives me, that Sweetener gave me right when it came out.
100%. And I think for me, positions is top two because of the things that Ari brings to the table. Like this is a different sound for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't like it because it's R&B on it. It is a different sound for her. And like it was so like I can't describe the feeling that I have, but I feel like I can't say this on the podcast.
Okay, here's
I
what I'm
feel
gonna
like
say.
she
I'm gonna
brought
say
her voice came out of her her voice she brought that
it came out of the cooter catter.
out of the cooter catter. Like she sang from her cooch. She sang from her cooch up. She ate down to her cooch.
It came out like this. It said
And,
instead of
yeah, that's what, and that's the sound that I get from each.
And I love that. And I think that this was really a moment for her and Tori Kelly to also be in their bags because she also came up with R&B
Mhm.
Tori. So,
And
you
I
know,
think that alone it has to be top 3 because of Nasty.
what has to be top 3?
Positions has to be
Oh,
top
yeah, 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 yeah. Nasty alone.
Nasty alone.
Nasty alone. We don't even like there are other hits here. But what
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you is that the piece that makes it, the piece is nasty.
Mhm.
Nasty got it. It
Mhm.
has it all. It has it all.
Yeah, I think that might be some of her best work. Some of her best work was put into that song and into this project.
And love every song as
But
well. So now for me, I'm getting up to the albums where every single song, no skip.
even
No
songs
skip.
that like are so different for her, like My Hair, which took
Mhm.
a lot. Like that, I think that was like a grower for a lot of people because it was so different. No regrets. Not a single regret for me about My Hair. So at number one, um, at number one, we have Dangerous Woman. And
Dangerous
I don't think
woman.
there's any back talk here.
I
Um,
saw my good sis in concert for this, so I just wanted to make that known
yeah,
to the
I don't
people.
think there's any back talk here.
No back talk.
I'm looking through the track list.
There's no skips. Like
No skips.
actually,
Like,
I don't. She doesn't know who a skip is. Like sometimes I might skip a song on positions. Oh, if I'm having a bad day. Like if I don't feel like just like Magic Child. But this right here, this
it
this
also,
album has the power to put you in whatever mood the song is in.
mhm. It also has a good Nicki Minaj feature,
That part.
and
It's
we missed
it's
her.
it's
We missed that.
kind of it's
Features are good on this.
here's
I
the
even
thing though.
enjoyed the
Here's
way to Let Me Love You. I enjoyed that too.
the thing is though that Get on Your Knees is around the same it was literally the same time this album dropped. So that
Yeah.
was just a good pair. And they always do that. They release a pair together and then sometimes one will hit a little bit better than the other one. And it's kind of sometimes I feel like they trade off. That's what it feels. Sometimes it feels like they trade
You
off.
can decide. You can decide to cut or not. The Light Is Coming in Bed. Neither of them gave.
I didn't mind Bed.
Bed was tolerable because Ariana's vocals were great in it.
Mm-hmm. I'll
The
give you
Light Is
that.
Coming. Where are the vocals? The light is coming to give back. You lost me. That's not what I came here for.
That kind of goes.
You see how I didn't. I didn't.
No? No? That's the bottom line. No, it's not giving you. Know it all. Know it all. It's
Skipping
giving you
it.
the lyrics don't make sense too. Now that I'm sitting here singing the lyrics don't make sense.
You don't even know what you're saying.
I don't.
You don't know what you're saying.
I'm just making the melody.
Side to
I'm just
side
making the melody.
and get on your knees. 110%. And when I think about it, yeah, I Don't Care is on this album. I don't.
A lot of deep cuts are on this album. Like a lot of her best deep cuts are on this album. And really sometimes I think like what could be a possible deep cut for Ariana because in my mind it's like everybody should know every single song that Ariana Grande has released, but then it becomes known to me through people like Xavier that there's no they don't that people the public doesn't know. The
Mhm.
public doesn't know. If it ain't on TikTok and if they didn't hear it back then, the public don't know.
We have Leave Me Lonely on here. Like, great
Was
music.
that song was goaded. That was my favorite song for the longest time off this album. And right now we're at Be All Right because during that accounting phase, y'all, when I was failing L's
This
every
song
Saturday,
brought Tori up, like from the darkness.
it took a good 20, 30 listens off that and it got me back. I was literally like, if Ariana said it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be all right. If she
This is,
said it.
this is also when Ari started getting into like her like. This is like when she started to get into her like sexy girl phase. Like she was becoming a woman with this album. Like,
1000%.
literally, like she came up with Every Day, and like that's when I knew like, oh, she grown now. You
But
know,
okay, here's the thing though. Here's the thing now though. The conversation we have to have now though is that was my everything had to be messy so that she could get to Dangerous Woman.
I think so. I think so.
because
That's
yours
what,
truly was
that's why,
giving
that's
bubble
why,
gum.
and that's why I have so much. Once again, that's why I have so much respect for my everything, because it was an era you had to be there, and that was
Mhm.
like the level of growth that we needed to get to Dangerous Woman. Because without my everything, the album, the music, and the era itself, we would never have had a Dangerous Woman.
That's true. And then the Danish Woman wouldn't have even catapulted into Sweetener and then, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
positions that we have now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I am going to ask you what your favorite Ariana feature is as of today.
Has she featured onto somebody else, or
Um,
like a feature that she had? Like,
feature onto someone else.
okay, okay.
For me, for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of hard because something I really like. I like here's the thing. Victoria Monet be pinning with Ariana in the studio. Her and Taylor. Her and Taylor be pinning, and then they got their good friends who are producers, they got them. I
Mm-hmm.
do want to quickly discuss the Charlie's Angels soundtrack very
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Sorry,
I
I have some of my answers.
okay, I have this. I have this.
Mm-hmm.
Got Our Own and Monopoly with Victoria Monet. I really like the
Mm-hmm.
vibes that they do when they're together in the studio. I like those. And
You
so
can tell that they feel like.
I want to give an acknowledgement. I want to give an acknowledgement to them because while I'm not going to say that those two are my tops, they're the top. They're the top. They're just really fun. I'm going for a more serious feature, but those fun. Those fun. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna leave that there. But they got it.
For me, for me, and this is like, I'm talking about songs that Ariana made, like without, like, Ariana took these songs and ate them up, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And it's like they're good songs by themselves, but Ariana elevated it to a level where, like, now it's an elite song. And for me, I think I'm gonna give that to three songs.
Okay.
I'm gonna give that, first of all, to, this is gonna sound really random, Heat Stroke by Calvin Harris.
Okay.
I think Ariana's vocals on that song brought it up to a level where every summer, that's one of the first songs I'm playing when that weather gets nice.
Valid.
Every summer. Next, I'm gonna either give it, I think I'm gonna give it to Get on Your Knees.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, she just brings it to a different level. And it's like that song makes me feel like so good. Like good, because of them working together. I think that's one of their best songs together. Um I also think she sounded really great on Rule the World by 2 Chainz. Um,
Valid. Very valid.
on that song. And last but not least, my favorite Ariana feature, for multiple reasons, which the people will understand, is my favorite part by Mac Miller featuring Ariana Grande.
And I understand that. That got it. That
Understand?
got
I
it.
don't even know. I don't have a lot to say about it. I just know that that song has been in my top 100 plays on Apple Replay for the last for 3 years, because it's an immaculate song, and you can feel the, like, that's a song where you can feel the chemistry, like, that was in the studio, like, every time you hear it, and it doesn't get old. And for me, that's
Mhm.
my favorite Ariana Grande feature.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna give my feature, and this is my three. I'm going from three to one. Okay. Three is oh my gosh, this is so hard. This is so hard. Okay, I'm gonna give it to Research
Mm.
by Big Sean and Ariana. That was on his album. That was on his side. People don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. But Ariana did what she needed to do in that studio that day. She did what she needed to do, and I'll never be tired. Two, I'm gonna give it to Adore. That was on Cashmere Cat's
Yeah,
side.
great song.
Cashmere Cat, Ariana.
He had a good song with Camila too. That's one thing I'm gonna give
And
him. I'm gonna give
that's
you the one flower.
the
Um,
if you for people who don't know, I stand with OT5. OT5, I'm standing with it. She make it hard for me sometimes. She make it hard for me sometimes. She make it hard. so hard. But she did do what she needed to do in that Cashmere Cat. Um, so I'm giving you my second to adore, and my final one. Oh my gosh, this is final one. I'm gonna give it to. This is so hard. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm
Drugs
gonna give it
already?
to her. I don't do
Don't do
drugs.
drugs already? Already.
It has the potential. Now here's the thing. This is my runner up. Because I'm gonna give number one to Get on Your Knees. Doja, I don't do drugs is runner up for number one. I can say it with my chest right now. I've heard it 3 times. But what I'm telling you is that it has the potential. And that's all you need to know. It has the potential.
Can we discuss Doja real quick?
Very quickly, let's.
What are your thoughts on the album? I don't know if you've played the deluxe or not yet. So just
I
on,
still haven't heard the deluxe yet.
but
And
on
to
Planet Her regular, what were
Mhm.
our thoughts? Because we streamed this together forever.
We did stream it together, yes.
And what we said, our verdict was 75% great, 25% H&M retail.
And for me, I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off of that and say I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna bump it up to 90%.
90% good.
90% good. After my second listen, not fully through, but like kind of, shuffling around a little bit on the playlist. Besides one feature on there
I
that I
like
didn't
it.
really
I Are you talking about Payday? I like Payday now.
I haven't really heard it again after the first time.
I really like it.
I'm
I
gonna give
really
it
like it.
another try. Doja, I'm not giving up on you. I'm not giving up on you, girly. But there are so many pieces to this. I didn't really I kind of missed the wave on her last album and then like the
Okay.
mixtapes. I missed the wave on all of them. I didn't really get into Doja until TikTok. I didn't really get into the bag until TikTok. So this was kind of my first real project being there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is that I think that she has come an extremely long way. Last summer, they wanted to cancel her.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer, they were trying to cancel Doja, and I was like, I'm not like a huge, like, I have not really heard of her music like that, but she's gone places. Maybe she
Mm-hmm.
slipped up this time. I'll give you, I don't know. I still don't know the whole scenario. I don't know the whole story. I'm not going to sit here and judge her because that's not on me. That's not on me. But this project right here, and I knew when Kiss Me More came out, that kind of solidified things for me because not only can she make hits off of an album she released 2 years ago. Was it two? 2 years ago that came out, or was it one?
That was 2 years ago.
If
Impact.
she can survive
Mm-hmm.
off an album with hits that she made 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason that this album, like this album is not, maybe fresh out the gate, people aren't gonna be like, oh, I'm on it. This right here has hits for the present, has hits for the future.
For the future.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and give
I'm,
90. I'm gonna
yeah,
give her
I'm
90.
definitely gonna say though that I don't think it's better than Hot Pink as of right now, because you can see from the way that that album has lasted that
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's legend status material.
And the fact that she didn't get a Grammy or any award for that.
Because when it dropped in that first 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
like we hadn't even gotten to the elevation. She just released a music video for Streets, which has become one of the biggest songs for a song that came out 2 years ago. People don't know that type of impact.
They don't.
They
But they
don't.
also don't understand the impact of Kaylani, who hasn't won really. They People be paying Kaylani dust,
They do.
honestly.
They do.
Because I'm still trying to figure out how she doesn't have a Grammy. Like, if she don't get a Grammy for this last album,
She was nominated with that mixtape, was she not? But she didn't get.
um, yes, but even before then, like after that, her second album should have been nominated, and they didn't decide to nominate it until like a year or two after, and then they still didn't give it to her.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are being slept on, but I will say for Doja, I have a special connection to Doja just because I honestly, and because of y'all get to know this. I was really big in the Vine edit community. I used to make Fifth Harmony Vine
She did
edit.
have a stint.
I
Yeah.
spent hours a day making 7-second videos about Fifth Harmony that I probably shouldn't have, and posting them on Vine. And I created a community there, and I used like audios. And Doja Cat was, I don't know who did it, but Doja Cat was in there. And so I've been streaming Doja since 2014 when she dropped her
Wow.
yeah, we were listening to So High. We were at 13. And so I remembered her, and then Moo came along, and I was like, oh, that's that girl. So ever since then, we've been streaming. But for me, I would say I think that Planet Her is a grower, but I think she's definitely gotten Doja to icon status for me. Like that, like this is like the start of Doja producing so much work that she's gonna be known for ages.
Because
I
the thing about that is that she definitely, a lot of the artists took a little break. Cardi, Meg, they took breaks a little bit in between, and then Doja, I will say, has been the most consistent recent artist.
and I'll say this about her. Doja reminds me, this is gonna be a really big comparison. A lot of y'all gonna be mad at me, but it must be said. Doja reminds me of Drake in the way that she's a consistent hit maker, I think by nature. Like I think anything she puts her hand on is gonna turn to gold. Much
Mm-hmm.
like Drake. Drake has that quality where anything he puts his hand on is gonna go platinum. Like anything he touches. He could eat mac and cheese on an album and it would go platinum. Like he will know how to make it right.
Not mac
Doja
and
Cat,
cheese.
Doja Cat could literally like do whatever she wants and it will go gold. And she's a weird girl. That's what she almost got canceled because she a weird girl. She a little something something, but she's a
But
hit
she plays on that. She plays on that, and she does it well.
maker. She's a hit maker. She plays on that. She's a hit maker by nature. So yeah, yeah. I think that's how I feel about Doja and Planet Her.
Valid stuff. Valid stuff.
How long are these episodes usually? We've been chatting.
We have been chatting, and so since you said that, I am gonna go ahead and end it here. I do,
Oh,
I
wow.
do so much want to thank Srina for coming in, just because how did we make this happen? Like we really made this happen for you guys. We've been in talks about having her guest star on the podcast for a minute now, and so
Can I
I'm
be
really
honest?
glad that she could.
Can I be
Yeah,
honest?
go
I feel
ahead.
like I feel like there's so much we could talk about. And
Honestly.
I would love, like, I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about things. We
Mm-hmm.
spent a lot of time on Ariana. I hope y'all like Ariana because we spent a lot of time
Because
on
if
Ariana.
you don't, Joe,
I'm sorry,
it's gonna be a
but
hard episode for you.
me and Tori be kikiing a lot about a lot of things, and I feel like there's a lot of things we
Hmm.
can talk about. And
Hmm.
so we both really tired today. But we here
I
and
ain't
we
even get that nap off. She gave me time to get a nap off. I decided to wash the dishes so that my parents would not be on my neck instead. And then I was like, and she didn't really want to hop in at 4 or something. 4 or something. I was like, girl, take your 30, get dressed up. It's like, I'm gonna do a video now. I'm gonna do a
I was
video
tired today, but this brought my energy up because Tori and I feel like we bring our energies up. So if
again.
one day we on 10 and we haven't spoken in the day yet and we start recording, that content is gonna
Golden.
that's golden content. So I think that there's so much more potential with us.
Hmm.
So I hope y'all like support and y'all can get some more content.
Exactly.
But for right now, I'm gonna need y'all to go support my girl Tori, like immediately.
As you should. As
Talking
you
YouTube,
should.
I'm talking like Spotify, everywhere you can find podcasts, you can go find In Distress. And we're gonna need you to support for the long run. We need you viewing. We need the content.
Long run, because
TikTok,
y'all, I'm
TikTok,
in a dark
you
place.
gotta follow the TikTok.
I'm in a dark place. TikTok is at typical Tori 2 underscores. I'm in a dark place right now, guys. You got to get there. I'm on everything you can imagine. I'm there. It's typical Tori. Okay.
Look up,
Look at this face.
yeah.
The profile picture's there. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so we look out for the music that's coming. There's just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna know this face and this name very soon. I'm gonna let y'all know
Mm-hmm.
about that person because she's not gonna tell you that herself, but you're gonna see it You're gonna see that name and that face very soon on that BET carpet. That's something else we didn't talk about. You're gonna talk about that with Lonnie.
And
You're
it
gonna see
and it.
that face, and then me as like the little like plus one. Y'all gonna see us on that red carpet very soon.
Y'all gonna see us.
Very soon. I'm
But
gonna be
it's
I'm gonna be her little lawyer.
honestly, go ahead and put it down. Mark it here, June 28th, 2021. It's been said.
At 7:02 p.m. we said you're gonna see this name in this
We
face,
said
and you're
it.
gonna see me as the plus one. And we stand by that. I'm out.
And we do. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of In Distress. That wraps up this week's episode. And you can send in your questions or if you need advice for something to tori.phillips987@gmail.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel where you're watching this on right now at typical Tori space underscore. My TikTok is at typical Tori with 2 underscores. You can also find me on my new Instagram at typical Tori with 6 eyes, my business account, where I post all of my TikToks and stuff on, Instagram. And I also post promotional stuff as well. You can also go and follow me on Twitter at typical Tori with 4 eyes underscore. You can also go check out my Spotify, which is Tori Nicole, to check out what I'm currently listening to. Lastly, if you really liked me, hit subscribe whenever you're listening to this on, whether you're on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or any other podcast area. Just please go ahead and hit subscribe because so I can be in your ear every weekend. I can't promise that it's always going to be a Saturday, but it will be the weekend. Okay. And lastly, if you really like me, feel free to head over to my Anchor website, anchor.fm/Tori-Phillips to support and become a supporter. You can get from 99 cents to $9.99 a month to help sustain future episodes of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Hopefully, I'm in your ears next week. And if you didn't like this episode, try a different one. There are so many. And also, I'm going to link Srina's social media down in the comments. Child, it's probably just gonna be her Twitter. You can go follow it. You can go follow it and have a good time.
I'm
Just
funny sometimes, y'all. Y'all go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. All right.
I'm gonna put the ad down there. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.